the molar mass is defined as what would the mass of a sample be if I had 1 mole of the molecules or formula units of that compound. And we calculate the molar mass simply by adding up the molar masses of the atoms that make it up. So if we look at the periodic table, we see that the molar mass of oxygen is 16.00 grams per mole. That means if I have 1 mole of oxygen atoms, it would weigh 16 grams. If I had a molecule like water, if I had 1 mole of water molecules, that means I would have 2 times 1, so 2 moles of hydrogen atoms and 1 mole of oxygen atoms. So I'd look at the periodic table and I would see that the molar mass of hydrogen is 1.01. For every 1 mole of water, I'd have 2 moles of hydrogen and I'd have 1 mole of oxygen. So the molar mass of water would be 18.02 grams per mole. Right, if we look at an example, so we want to calculate the molar mass of glucose. Glucose has the formula C6H12O6. That means for every 1 glucose molecule, I have 6 carbon atoms, 12 hydrogen atoms, and 6 oxygen atoms. It also means that if I have 1 mole of glucose, I will have 6 moles of carbon, 12 moles of hydrogen, and 6 moles of oxygen. So to determine the molar mass, I just add up the constituent elements. So the molar mass of glucose would be 6 times the molar mass of carbon plus 12 times the molar mass of hydrogen plus 6 times the molar mass of oxygen. When I add those up, I get 180.18, and the units on molar mass are grams per mole. Now when we're converting back and forth between molecules and moles and mass, it is helpful to write the molar mass as a conversion factor. And so sometimes I like to write this as 1 mole of glucose is equal to 180.18 grams of glucose. All right, in this example, we're asked to calculate the molar mass of aluminum chlorate. So if I have 1 mole of aluminum chlorate, means I have a mole of aluminum atoms, I have 3 moles of chlorine atoms, and I have 3 times 3, 9 moles of oxygen atoms. So the molar mass of this compound, I have 1 aluminum, I have 3 chlorines, and I have 9 oxygens. And so when I add that up, I get a molar mass of 277.33 grams per mole. Or I could rewrite that as 1 mole of aluminum chlorate has a mass of 277.33 grams